Hello there. So let's talk about Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, which is coming out pretty soon now, September 7th to be exact. So I'm sitting here on the home screen. You're probably wondering how. Well, I still have the beta client installed, and this is about as far as you get if you load it up. Pretty nice start splash screen. I like it, and it makes me happy to look at. So we're going to look at it while we are talking about the game. So what is the point of this video if we can't really look at the game or touch the game yet? I want to talk about rerolling. Should you reroll going into this game? Well, no one's going to stop you. If you feel the need to reroll because that's what you like to do, by all means. Now, do I think anybody needs to reroll? No, not at all. Because this game works a little differently than most gachas, and I will explain why in a moment. But yeah, just keep that in mind. They're going to give a lot of free stuff when the game releases. Again, September 7th. They're going to give us a lot of free stuff. Make sure you pre-register if you haven't. There are still some pre-register campaigns open before the game launches, and we'll get more rewards if more people pre-register. So I'm going to leave a link in the description down below. Whether you're on iOS or Google Play, or Android, I should say, make sure you pre-register. Even if you're not going to play the game, that's not a big deal. You'll help out the community get the rewards, and that's great, and we'll appreciate you for it. So, why don't you need to reroll? Well, first of all, they're going to give you a lot of free stuff, okay? They're going to give you more than enough to progress through a large portion of the game, start collecting the free currency, the free tickets. They're going to give us a number of free 5 stars to get us started. So don't worry. It's not like you're going to be fighting to get your first couple 5 stars. They're going to be pretty generous with them. Of course, there are going to be banner exclusives at the beginning. And you might think, oh, well, you know, the banner exclusives, always meta, blah, blah, blah. You know, it'd probably be, honestly, it's not really meta. Because a lot of characters can fill a lot of different roles. And the only real, like, bait FOMO thing is going to be the outfits that are on the draw summon. So I think there's going to be a lot of people that do some beginner rerolls because they want to get the first set of banners. They want to get all the outfits with minimal resistance. Because there's a chance you can get them in like 1 pull or like 12 pulls or something. I forget the exact math, and I don't know if they changed it, so I don't want to say anything yet too certainly on that. But yeah, they have these draw stamps that you collect as you do draws, and the more stamps you get, you collect rewards. After you collect 12 stamps, you get a unique costume for one of the characters. So if people are re-rolling, it's more than likely going to be to try to get the starter outfits, not for a specific weapon. And that's why I think it's kind of pointless to re-roll unless you really care about that stuff. I'm not going to stop anyone from re-rolling. I just know it really, like, sucks the life out of you and just takes the wind out of your sails. You're excited to play this game. You do, like, 2 days, 3 days worth of re-rolls, and then you start playing, and it's like, then you're 3 days behind, and it's like, was it really worth it? Like, you could have just been having fun playing the game this whole time. And that's what I suggest people do. I'm not going to stop you or tell you re-rolling is wrong, but I don't think it's worth the time. So there are wish lists in every draw banner. So if you do get a certain weapon for a character and you want to target farm that weapon to build it up higher, you can add it to all your wish lists. And that is a great feature starting out right from the gate. So your wish list increases your rate of getting. They're pretty much the basic banner 5 stars, but they're all still good. And again, I'm going to explain more about why I don't think you need to reroll for a specific weapon and why they're all good in a second, but I just want to sell the point that You really don't have to reroll because you're probably going to be focusing on whatever you get. Like, whatever the first thing you get for this character, okay, you're now going to probably build that character for that sort of thing. For example, one of the weapons that I got in the beta for Aerith, the first weapon I got was the Fairy Staff, or Fairy Staff, I believe it was called, which gave her Curaga. This is great because when you start out, you don't have access to an AoE cure materia, which you can eventually get, so Curaga is not even essential. But for me, it worked out great, and it made clearing all of the content way easier, having that AoE cure backup. And then the next weapon I got for her was Thundaga, and that was great. So her two main abilities were an AoE heal and an AoE damage dealing ability. So why isn't rerolling important? If certain characters have these amazing abilities, you have access to these amazing abilities that sound essential, why don't I want to reroll it for them? Well, there's a bunch of different characters that you're going to start out with. You unlock the characters for free just by going through the story, which you're going to want to do first and foremost. Go as far into the story as you can, unlock all the characters, because as you progress in the story, the experience is going to carry over to all your characters, and that's going to build your overall character level growth way faster. When you go outside of the main story, the character's experience is limited to who's in your team for that fight. Like for multiplayer, only that one person you're using in multiplayer will gain the experience. So if you want to focus farm one character experience, you can do that in multiplayer. When you're doing some of the farmable stages for materials to level your characters and whatnot, whoever is in your team, so that group of 3 will get all of the experience, so you can focus farm a group of 3, a primary team, if you will, doing that. But then in the story, all the characters you have access to get the experience. So it's imperative that you do like the first chapter of each story to unlock all the new characters. That way, as you progress in any of the stories, they're all gaining bonus experience. Yeah, that's gonna help you out. Hopefully, that helps some people out. A little bit of a tip going into the game, and make sure you do that. But yeah, essentially all the characters are free. So what you're pulling for is the weapons, and less so the costumes. The bonus stats that the costumes give are very minimal. It's like the difference between 5 defense and 10 defense. It's really not that big of a deal, so don't worry if you're not getting these exclusive outfits. It really, like, I can't stress that enough. Like, 5 defense difference is really not a big deal. But, you know, it is a bonus. So if you do get them, great. The character looks cool, and they get a little bit of a bonus stat. But it is not so much that it is imperative that it's really super pay to win or anything. And I don't even recall if there's PvP. I don't even think there's PvP. There wasn't even any locked PvP segment. Maybe they will add it. I don't know. I don't care. I hope they don't. And if they do, I hope it's skippable. But yeah, as a whole, I think that this game has a lot of promise, and it's super exciting. And yeah, again, I just can't stress this enough. You don't need a reroll. All the characters can fill an assortment of roles. Tifa, my Tifa, I got primarily physical attack skills that are single target, but she also has access to a weapon with Thundaga, for example. So just take what you get, and then build those characters towards that specific thing. All you really want to focus on is having an assortment of different abilities and elements in your kit, because you're probably going to be changing characters around for some of the tougher fights anyway. So yeah, what you have on one specific character is really not going to make a huge difference compared to the synergy that your team has with all their different abilities. Because on one final note, during the fights, some of the enemies will get the start an ability, and you can interrupt the ability by using certain symbols. Now, these symbols will be on some of the weapon abilities, a bunch of the materias. So that's another thing to consider. Your team needs to have a good assortment of symbols going into a fight to make sure they're able to break or interrupt the enemy's cast meter. So, Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis is going to be a really fun game. I highly suggest everyone try it. Don't worry about re-rolling. But again, if you want to, I think your primary focus on the re-rolling is just going to be trying to get those outfits in like single pulls or double pulls instead of 12. Because like I said, in the beta, I think the most I got on a draw was 12 stamps. That's a single shot, the whole first stamp sheet, which gave me the outfit. But the lowest I got was 1. So that's something to consider. If you're really desperate for these outfits, go ahead and re-roll. But in terms of the weapons, just make sure you're focusing on an arrangement so your team has good, good synergy, and yeah, they can just fill a wide variety of roles. But that's about it. I hope to see a lot of people in the game. Make sure you like and subscribe. I will be posting guides and information about the game when it comes out. I may also stream it on my Twitch. I don't know. I feel weird about Twitch. So I'm not sure if I'm going to stream it there, but I'm considering it. And that is my phone ringing. I don't know who the hell it is. But yeah, peace.